We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. I think we're live. Yes, we are live and we are streaming, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to come on because it does look like right now, as I'm talking, there's the second night of protests in Northern Ireland. So it looks like, guys, second night of protest. This time it's all over Northern Ireland. Last night we saw protests break out in the Ballymena region. Today we're seeing protests. I mean, I'm looking at images here, guys. I'm trying to share this. Just bear with me a second, guys, because I just clicked something on the screen and I could share it, but you know what? That's gone. It's gone. It's finished. It's gone. It's over. Oh, there we are. Is it this one? Can I use this maybe? Right, I think I can actually add, right, hang on, guys. I think I can add this. Let me try and add this screen for you guys here. Add source. No, right, okay. Camera, right, I'm just going to leave that, guys, okay? I am going to leave that. I was trying to share a screen with you guys. I don't know how to do it on the TikTok. I know how to do it on the YouTube, but on the TikTok, it's add sources. Right, I'll click that. Add source. Right, okay, I'm just going to leave that. Right, Ballymena live updates as riot police deployed and protests take place across Northern Ireland for a second night. Police service Northern Ireland vehicles have formed barricades in some roads in the towns, and I'm gonna be giving you guys live updates, guys. Okay, so from 11 minutes ago, a creeping line of officers in riot gear, backed by Land Rovers, moved crowds throwing bottles and heavy masonry out of Clovenon Road in Ballymena. So, guys, look, what we can confirm now from Belfast Live, we have the second night of are they protests? They're throwing things at the police. For the second night, we're having the crowd throwing bottles and heavy masonry at the police in Northern Ireland, guys. Now, as we understand right now, Northern Ireland is, guys, look, and for those of you who've been watching and those of you guys who are in the United Kingdom or around the world, right now, the world has been on the tittering edge of an absolute collapse. Some people call it a collapse. Some people call it a rebirth. Only time will tell. But what we know now, ladies and gentlemen, from Northern Ireland is crowds are gathering. There's protests planned all over Northern Ireland. And from Belfast Live, in fact, is that what I'm reading? Belfast Live News, guys, which is what I'm reading now. The police service are getting bottles and heavy objects thrown at them by the crowds. That is what we know, guys. And fireworks, they're firing fireworks at the police. Also, riot police deployed, roads blocked in Newton Abbey. It's all over Northern Ireland tonight, guys. Those people in Northern Ireland don't really like things happening to their young girls. Go figure. Who would have thought that? I was watching ITV Northern Ireland. I think it was ITV Northern Ireland, and they were interviewing people who were involved in these people who were in the houses, who had the houses attacked, and a lot of these people are going home, guys. Which, you know, I guess that's take of that what you want. Obviously, nobody should be made to feel like they're not welcome anywhere. But you know what, guys? If you're giving hospitality to somebody, do not bite the hand that's feeding you, because ultimately that hand that's feeding you will stop feeding you. Right? Let me jump up and get some of the comments, guys. Look, I've got the chat open tonight. So I do apologize if I'm missing anyone's comments. Who have we got? We've got Missy D, Scott, Nick, Lisa Marie, Shazzy, Brandon, Luxford is sending a like a wavy face right back to Luxford. Jean Prothrow saying, evening everyone. Debbie Phillips GB, D Marie Gen X is saying, hi Sean. Jamie is saying, you know who will come out of the woodworks. Yes, I do know who's going to come out of the woodworks. I feel from this. Ballymena is pure standoff. Shopping trolleys over bricks. Wow. Okay. User 927. I'm going to pin this. User 927. Are you in Ballymena? Are you in that region? Guys, listen, I don't ask you guys to do this on TikTok very often. In fact, I don't think I ever ask you to do this. Can you guys tap the screen as much as you can on TikTok, because we need to get to 50,000 as quickly as possible so we can start pushing this message out to as many people around the world, because I do want people in other parts of the world to understand what is happening here. So guys, look, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on YouTube later, it's not going to make any sense. But if you're on TikTok now, guys, can you do me that? I don't ask for it often, guys. I really don't. Can you guys just tick, tap, tap, tap. We got there in the end, guys. Can you tap the screen as much as possible? Because we need to get to 50,000 as quickly as possible to get this live pushed out to other people around the world, guys. Because like right now, I feel we need a global movement. We need global solidarity. It's not just in Northern Ireland. It's not just in America. It's not just in Spain, France, Paris, Portugal. It's all over the world. So we need to get this message out to as many people as we can, that we're all standing together. We're showing solidarity, and just keep tapping that screen, guys. And if you're watching on YouTube, then you guys, I don't know. You guys like touch your nose or something if you're watching on YouTube, but I don't know. Welsh Warrior is saying, evening fella. Right, guys, listen, I just want to go back to this comment here, what a user's put on. Ballymena is a pure standoff. Now, that is a very Irish tone. Shopping trolleys of bricks. Ballymena is a pure standoff. Shopping trolleys of bricks everywhere. And I'm not being facetious with that accent, guys. I'm not. I'm giving it an Irish accent, I hope. Newton Abbey, Clofern roundabout blocked. Guys, listen, it's all turning off in all going down in Northern Ireland, ladies and gentlemen. Look, and I want to bring everybody back to what I was talking about on earlier's live stream. Hibernate, relocate, evacuate. All right. So remember, a lot of these roads are being blocked off, and that's how the police will deal with them. If there's rioting, protesting, whatever. Guys, listen, the housing estates in Northern Ireland, they are predominant. Well, not predominantly, but where these places are, they are they're very tight, terraced houses, sharp right angles, and it's very difficult to operate there from the security forces point of view. Right, let me jump down. Good evening, Priv Caro saying, good evening, so much happening everywhere. I can't keep up, I feel. Yeah, nobody can keep up. Debbie Phillips, you could see this simmering for a while. We are next, says Debbie Phillips. Yes, I agree. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't just agree. I've been saying this is coming since last year. I've been saying it's the summer of carnage. It does look like it's an inevitability now. It does look like it's almost here. Northern Ireland is part of Great Britain. It is part of the British, I'm just going to call it hang on. Oh, right. Okay. So Jess, I do apologize. So Jess Beckett here is saying civilians are blocking the road in Newton Abbey, not the police. Right. Okay. In fact, I think I've got a friend who lives in Newton Abbey. No, he lives in Newton Ards. So Jess is saying it's the civilians that are blocking the road. Now, this would be a tactic that happens. And again, look, guys, nobody can riot and protest like the Northern Irish. They're pretty good at it. They've got a lot of experience. You're going to have the older and the bolder coming out teaching the new lads how to do it. But this is what's happening. This is literally what's happening now, guys. Around the world, we are having this. The summer of carnage, ladies and gentlemen. When I started talking about the summer of carnage, I thought I projected this to be isolated in the United Kingdom, but it does look like the summer of carnage has gone global. Guys, you're doing so well. Keep tapping that screen, really. Honestly, I don't ask you to do this much. Please keep tapping that screen, because we need to get this international. At 50,000, we go international. And if you guys are watching on YouTube and you're thinking, I want to get in on the screen tapping, just touch your nose, guys. Touch your nose if you're watching on YouTube. I will appreciate that just as much. Adam Carrigan over on YouTube is saying it's slowly making its way to us, and I believe it is. I believe, guys, look, my temporal marker of the 4th of July, I've not changed that. I give that as a long-term projection. I still think that's coming. River Braid, sorry. I'm Raven, you're River. Raven Braid, stop. River Braid. Riverbraid is saying, remember, we are many. Sheridan Mosley saying, oh my God, no blasphemy, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel. I'm the only one who does blasphemy. Sarah's always telling me off for it. I said it 1,000 times. This is going to fuel Black Swan 2.0. Do you know what, Welsh Warrior? That could be the case. So Welsh Swan there over on TikTok is saying this could fuel Black Swan 2.0. So what we're talking about there is the government, they're looking at all these protests. They're looking at all these things happening. They're thinking, right, the inevitability is coming. We need a black swan. We need an event to lock people down so people stay in their houses so nobody can come out and protest. That could well be on the cards. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, at what point do people stop caring? I would suggest that in Northern Ireland right now, you could tell them that they have to stay inside and keep 6 feet apart, hands, feet, and face, 6 feet and dishes or whatever it is. I don't think those people will be cared. Turns out they don't like people attacking their young girls. Go figure, guys. Go figure. It's shocking. Ellie Nietzsche is sharing the live. Desert is saying you was right. Listen, guys, when I do these predictions, it's not me that's right. I'm looking at the information that's available to me, and I'm just showing you guys that, look, this is the most likely thing. And guys, look, I'll tell you the most likely scenario for this to end in Northern Ireland as well. The most likely story for this to end in Northern Ireland, if there's a massive downpour of rain. If there is a massive downpour of rain and wind, people will go in and then they won't come back out. But as we're gathering momentum, as the weather's good, as the weather's hot, people are standing on the streets, people are socializing, people are having drinks, and this is what I'm talking about. I understand how these things happen, ladies and gentlemen. Look, if you're joining the channel for the first time, when we're talking about riots, protests, military tactics, when I give you guys this analysis, I've been in Northern Ireland, in lots of those locations, Besbrook, literally everywhere, guys. So Besbrook, Crossmaglen, Newton Hamilton, Dungannon, Belfast, all of those places. I've been there with a riot shield, having things thrown at me, having heavy things thrown at me. I've done that as a job, guys. I've also been in the crowd trying to make arrests. I've also been in the van where they've got a video camera and they're trying to identify the ringleaders. This was before AI and facial recognition. I've also been in the military where I've taught this sort of stuff. So I've taught people how to do it. So when I'm giving you guys my analysis and my updates on what's happening, I do have a good understanding of how these things work. Guys, listen, thank you. We're at 30,000, guys, okay? Can we keep going until 50,000? Let's keep tapping that screen, guys, as much as you can. I do want to get this live up to 50,000 as quickly as possible, guys, okay? So let's keep tapping the screen until we get to 50,000, guys. We can then be, and you guys can then be, an international live stream, because there's movement all over the world, guys, and I want this live stream to show solidarity with everybody all over the world and let people know what is happening. And if you're watching on YouTube later on and you're thinking, what is he on about with this screen tapping? Don't worry about it. It's just something on TikTok. If we can get to 50,000, likes, that means we will start getting pushed out onto the For You page, onto international channels. Right, guys, listen, there's so many comments. Guys, listen, there's so many comments. I apologize that I'm not going to be able to get them all. Let me jump down. Riverbird is saying frequency is the new toy. Belfast Banter Zero, right, Belfast Banter Zero, thank you. Riots getting heavy again in Ballymena. This is what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, okay? When people rise up and they reach that critical mass, there's no stopping them. There is no stopping it. There is no stopping the crowd. There's no stopping the mob. Look, guys, I'll give you my first experience. So my first experience in Northern Ireland, I was 18 and public order. We was in one of the military snatch vehicles. Around the corner there was it was bonfire night, and in Northern Ireland they set fire to each other's bonfires. It's a big thing, it's a gang thing. I think we was in Coleraine. I'm pretty sure we was in Coleraine. We was in one of the Land Rovers. and it all kicked off, guys. Everything was, and remember how many times I've said this, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, we're at 41,000, guys. Let's keep going, guys. Thank you so much. I think we're going to meet this in record time. So, guys, my first experience in Northern Ireland, we was in a snatch truck. We drove around the corner. I'd looked at this street, so I understand how bad things can get in Northern Ireland like that. We looked at this street maybe 5 minutes beforehand. We drove around the corner. The police got on the radio. They called us back in. We went back round the street. Everywhere was on fire. There were people throwing bricks and rocks. I saw somebody jump onto a police vehicle with a petrol bomb. Whack on the windscreen of the petrol bomb. It was like, wow, this is an eye-opener. I wasn't expecting this. And then from there onwards, we had to take control of that situation. Guys, listen, the reason I'm telling you this is I understand what's happening out there. I've been there. I've seen things, you know, and I understand what's happening on the ground. Belfast Banter Zero is saying riots are getting heavy again in Ballymena. Guys, we have 3,000 to go. Keep touching that. Keep whacking that screen, guys. Keep whacking that screen. You're doing absolutely fantastic. We are getting this out. We are going to be an international live tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and that is thanks to you guys. So I'm saying thank you prematurely. Guys, listen, we are 48,000. Right, let me jump down and get these comments. Belfast Banter, I'm assuming Belfast Banter, I'm assuming you are Belfast Banter, I'm assuming you're in Belfast. Please keep us updated what's happening in Northern Ireland. Keep us updated what's happening in Ballymena. And guys, listen, can everybody please keep everyone updated. Ladies and gentlemen, well done to you guys. Well done to everybody. We've reached 50,000. We are now an international live stream. We will be appearing on international For You pages. So thank you guys so much. Sergeant Gunner is saying you need a second device, Sean, to see and do your live. So Sergeant Gunner, I've literally got 3 screens open in front of me and a tablet. I am streaming now, guys, on TikTok and YouTube. So if you miss any of this live stream, guys, we are going to be focusing on what's happening in Northern Ireland. Second night of riots, which I can say now they have turned into, well, hang on, can we call them riots? I am giving water cannon. So the water cannon's now being deployed in Ballymena, guys, all right? So the water cannons have now been deployed in Ballymena. Guys, look, I do not see this going down. I don't see this going down anywhere. So some girl, Priv Caro is saying, Priv Caro is saying, saw some girl telling the news yesterday in Sweden that power stations are being set on fire in Sweden. Who'd have thought here, guys? Who'd have thought these power stations would all of a sudden just all go up in flames? Guys. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, the situation in Ballymena, the situation in Northern Ireland, we're looking like the second night of protest. And what I keep saying, guys, okay, everything is fine. Everything is fine until it's not. And this is why I keep saying, guys, okay, I went through it till I was blue in the face this morning, you know, hibernate, relocate, evacuate. I'm not going to go over it now, guys. I'm not going to go over it now because I did that to death earlier. But if you guys want to look what I'm talking about, go and check out my the last live stream I uploaded onto YouTube. Right, Callum is saying water cannons now being deployed by the security forces and fireworks, petrol bombs. Okay, so that's a new. So they're now. So we've got reports now of petrol bombs being thrown in. I think that's Ballymena. James is saying, why is this not on the media? James, the reason, listen guys, the reason I asked you all to tap that screen as quickly as possible is because this is not on the media. The media do not want to report on this. Remember, who quoted the revolution will not be televised? Hang on, somebody quoted. Can somebody tell me who the revolution? The revolution will not be televised. which is a song by someone, Jill Scott Heron. The revolution, ladies and gentlemen, will not be televised. There is no way that the powers that be, whoever's in charge, there's no way that they want to show people. There's no way that they want this on the mainstream. People seeing people getting angry about young girls being attacked by a certain demographic. No way it's going to go on the news, guys. That's why we needed to get all you guys to tap this screen so we could go on and become an international live. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are hoping that this live is being shared and pushed out between live streams and For You pages all over the world. Literally right-wing nutcases. No. So no one here, look, somebody here, no one, he's saying literally right-wing nutcases. So are you a right-wing nutcase now if you're against assaults on young girls? Does that okay, let's just dissect this here, right? So this guy, somebody's commented here and they're saying, I'm assuming that this person's saying that literally right-wing nutcases. So are we saying that if you're against young girls being attacked, you're a right-wing nutcase? And if you are for young girls attacked, does that mean you're left-wing? So does that mean left-wing are pro-attacking young girls? I don't know where we go with this, guys. It seems a bit weird to me. It seems a bit weird. Anyway, we'll just leave that. We'll just leave that alone. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mind if anybody wants to troll me. I would rather you didn't troll me, not when I'm trying to cover something like this. Save it for another day when we're talking about aliens or something. But guys, listen, if you do troll me, all right, try and articulate yourself correct, all right? Just be aware I'm vastly intelligent and I'm gonna dismantle what you've said and articulate it and make you question the reality of your own world. But I'm fine with that. Don't swear, don't be rude, don't do it, don't be nasty. If you are, guys, I will have to mute you. Belfast Banter is saying petrol bombs have started to be thrown at Land Rovers. Major fire in Main Road in Ballymena. Guys, listen, it's all happening. We need to get this message out there to as many people what's happening in Northern Ireland. It does look like some people will be saying, listen, guys, what side of the argument are we on? Are we on the side of the argument, like the person has just said, that these are right-wing nutcases? Or are they people who've just genuinely had enough? What is it, guys? Are they right-wing nutcases, or are they people who've genuinely had enough? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to speculate, guys, because last time I gave you my opinion, I got a live banned. Right, guys, listen, I do apologize, right? When the lives open like this, there are so many questions, there are so many comments, okay? So many questions, so many comments. I do apologize if I can't get in everyone. No one is saying, stop picking, choosing. Right, no one. I don't know what that means, mate. Like I said, try and articulate yourself. I don't know how old you are or if English is your first language, but please articulate yourself better. Sarah is saying people have had enough. Deborah is saying I've had enough. Cosmic Disclosures, they have had enough. So it doesn't, no, bro, read my messages, my previous message. Right, no one. I don't, right, guys, listen, when the chat is open, when the chat's open like this, there are so many messages, I genuinely can't get to them all, because what would happen is I would start reading the top messages by the time we've dissected it, like a couple of minutes ago, and then there's like 50 messages, and the people who I was speaking to originally, they've gone. So I have to keep jumping down. So I do apologize about that. Anyway. Right, hang on. Right, EG News, I've had enough double time. No one. That's why I said right-wing nutcases throwing petrol bombs. Right, okay, right. So no one. Right. Is it right-wing nutcases that are throwing petrol bombs, or is it people who've just had enough? Like, again, remember what I said. If you listen, no one. I don't know if you follow my channel or not. I don't know if you follow my channel or not. But I always, one of the things when we're talking about public order, when we're talking about riots, protests, you always get a minority in every scenario. So whereas you might get 100 people turn up, you might get one person who is going to go absolutely bonkers. The more people turn up, the more of those one people you get. So yes, of course, you're going to get a percentage of people who are going to go crackers. But the majority of people who are out on the streets, are we going to, are we going to say that they're all right-wing nutcases? I don't know, guys. You tell me. Cosmic Disclosures, keep talking about the subject, Sean. It's cool. Yes, thank you. Right. We've got another message from Shirley here. She's in Belfast. Shirley, if you can give us an update what's happening in Belfast. So, guys, listen, if you guys are listening, wherever you're listening around the world, Northern Ireland is looking like it's the second night of, I don't even know what to call them, the second night of violence where Kev is saying there's explosions heard in Ballymena. Right. Look, guys, I don't know. I can't confirm this. An explosion would be another massive escalation. But Kev O is saying, Kev O, I'm going to pin this. So Kev O is saying explosions in Ballymena right now. Kev O, where are you getting that from, buddy? If you can tell me if that's on a mainstream media news outlet or if it's on, right, I'm just going to go on to X, guys, and search Ballymena. And then I'm going to search by latest. Okay, so I've got water cannon being used. There's some beautiful dogs there, guys. Police dogs also deployed in Ballymena. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you're in Ballymena, leave the dogs alone. Leave the dogs alone. They are beautiful animals. Those are beautiful animals. Those dogs are beautiful. Probably not going to be that beautiful if one's like on your leg or something, but yeah. Right, okay, so I'm looking at pictures now, guys. I'm looking at pictures that are being live streamed from what I can assume is Ballymena. It's of something on fire. I think it could be a building. It could be a building on fire. It could be a row of houses on fire. I can't tell 100%. More fires blocking the roads. Guys, it is gone. Guys, listen, this situation since we have been live has deteriorated, and it's deteriorated fast. I'm now looking at just groups of people, like masses groups of people. They're blocking the road off. There's fire. There's a fire in the road. People are throwing flammable material on the road, and there's also a signpost for a bacon and egg McMuffin, which I don't know if that's some sort of subliminal message, but there's a signpost for a bacon and sausage McMuffin. Police deployed, second night of disorders. Guys, it's all erupting for a second night in Northern Ireland. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when people have had enough. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, well, I don't know. Maybe this is just right-wing thuggery. Maybe it's just right-wing thuggery. And all of a sudden, they just decided to come out tonight and just have a bit of right-wing thuggery. Or maybe it's people who are just so angry with what's happening to local communities, so angry with what's happening to local, to our local girls, my daughters, your daughters, guys, and people are just so angry with this. And when people reach that, you know, when people reach that, what's the word I'm looking, that tipping point, when people reach that tipping point, this is what happens when that mob mentality, the pack mentality. Remember what happened a couple of days ago in Liverpool. Now, did you see the pack mentality? Straight away, something changed. There was a pack mentality, people pushing into that car, screams of doing a certain thing to that person. They didn't care about the police there. They didn't care what somebody may or may not do after them. Right, guys, let me just jump and get some comments off YouTube. Daz is saying, I've had enough too. Jeff is saying, Los Angeles native here. Are the Northern Irish people over mass immigration? Yes. Okay, right. So if you're watching on YouTube, Jeff here on... Jeff, are you like, is that the Jeff I know? Is that the Jeff? Is that Jeff who I know? So Jeff over on YouTube is saying the Los Angeles. Oh no, Jeff's from Texas. Sorry, Jeff's saying Los Angeles native here. Are the Northern Irish people over there protesting over mass migration, or what's the situation? So if you don't know the situation, if you're watching from another country, over the weekend, there was last weekend and this weekend just gone, there's been 2 young girls allegedly assaulted by I think it's Romanian men or Roma men, and obviously, Jeff, for the algorithm, I can't say how those young girls were allegedly assaulted, but Jeff, you're probably going to understand how that is. Turns out the people of Ballymena didn't like that. Last night there was mass protests, there was riots, houses got burnt down, all sorts of stuff happened, and tonight there's a second night of rioting in Ballymena. We're hearing reports of cars being burned down. I've just seen images of the roads being blocked by fire. And water cannons being used. I think there's buildings on fire. I'm looking here at live streams from X. Obviously, I can't confirm these guys, but I'm looking at a live stream from X, and it does look like now there are buildings on fire. I mean, this was from 4 minutes ago, so I can only say that's like speculation at this time, guys. Victor Benner over on YouTube is saying pressure cooker. Yeah, exactly what I said, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a pressure cooker right now. So remember last year when Keir Starmer didn't give people the outlet? Keir Starmer didn't let people have that release on Facebook. And again, like when you write something on Facebook, it is, or whatever, it's kind of a release, isn't it? It's kind of a, I do this, oh, you should do that. And yeah, you're a keyboard warrior, but that is a release. Now, what happens, Victor Benner's saying over on YouTube, and I've used the exact same analogy, we have a pressure cooker, ladies and gentlemen. And this pressure cooker, when you bolt the lid shut and you keep adding fire, rather than steam gently passing out of that pressure cooker, the pressure builds up and then the inevitable happens, which is catastrophic. And there's no stopping it, guys. There is no stopping it. I'm just going to pin this because, John, I'm just going to pin your comment, mate, because I'd probably get told off if I said that. Right, Sharon Stewart says they're threatening us with jail. Yeah, they're threatening us with jail, accusing of being racist. Our country is finished. No, it's not, Sharon Stewart. We are seeing the emergence and the rebirth. We are seeing the rebirth of Western civilization, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going through right now. We are seeing the rebirth of Western civilization. And then Jeff is saying, no, mate, I'm from Los Feliz, a section in Hollywood, California. Over here in Los Angeles, it's beyond disturbing how much the rioters have literally destroyed our city. So Jeff over on YouTube is saying that the rioters have destroyed the city in California. Right, and Jeff, if you just want to look at those comments on Jeff, if you want to look at the comments I've got on the screen now, I'm gonna take it off. That's what's literally happened in allegedly. I've got to say allegedly because these guys have not gone through. They've been arrested. They've not been charged, so we don't know what's happened. But that's the offence that's been alleged. I have to say, I have to jump through some right hoops, don't I? I have to jump through some hoops when I'm doing my talking. River Brady saying the politicians need to be stood down in all of the UK and Ireland. I would say they need to be stood down all over the world. 3 days food and water and a hamper fuel down, folks, says Cosmic Disclosures. Right, let me jump up and get these comments, guys. In fact, you know what? Let me go and do, because I've got the, where is it? I did have, oh, I must have shut it. Have I shut it down? Oh, no. So I've got Belfast live updates open. Let me just see if there's been any more live updates. Okay. So this is a statement now, guys, from the Police Service Northern Ireland. The PSNI, they're saying in Ballymena tonight. Hang on. No, so that's just hang on. Right, police statement. Police are currently dealing with serious disorder in the Clonavon Terrace area of Ballymena this evening. Members of the public should avoid the area. An update will be provided in due course. So remember what I keep saying, guys, okay? Hibernate, relocate, evacuate. Remember those 3 things, guys, okay? Keep remembering those. Because if you're not going to go out and get involved in whatever's happening on the street, you best stay in because you're either in somebody's way or you're in their way. You see where I'm going with that, guys? All right, you're either in somebody's way or what did you say? You're either on somebody's side or in their way. That's what I was talking about. So whatever side of these arguments you're on, guys, all right? Don't go out on the streets and be a spectator. Now, I'm not talking about going out and doing anything. What I'm saying is, if you're out there as a spectator, you're not achieving anything. Go back, go home, watch it online or something. You'll be a lot safer. Right, let me jump up and get these comments. Matt is saying people need to let off steam, but there's no need to damage people's property and set vehicles on fire. I agree 100%, Matt. 100% I agree. I agree with that, Matt. The problem that we are facing in Western civilization is it does feel and it seems like nobody is listening. Literally nobody is listening. We're screaming out saying, we don't want this. We don't want that. Please don't do this to our community. Please don't do this. And it just seems like the more we shout, the more nobody cares. I mean, come on, guys. Have you watched my video? Guys, have you watched my video? Have you watched my video I did earlier on about the economy? Guys, listen. I know this is slightly off topic to Ballymena. In fact, you know what, guys? It's not. It's all connected. Recent results came out that now in the United Kingdom, because the government raised the national insurance for employers, it turns out there's over 100,000 less jobs. So when Angela Rayner, and if you guys are watching from another country, Angela Rayner is a politician in our country, and she has varying degrees of dislike. And she stands up and she says, we're not going to hit working class people in the pocket. We're going to get them employers and we're going to rate tax them. We're not going to tax working people unless they sell trousers. I would like to say to her, I get it, Angela. You're not going to hit working people in the pocket, but what about those 100,000 people who've just been made unemployed? You see where we're going with this, guys? You see where we're going with this? All these things, it's just absolutely insane. And then, anyway, I did a video on that, guys. If you've not seen that video, go and watch it. Watch it. Right, let me jump down. There are loads of comments, guys. There are so many comments, and I do apologize if I'm not managing to get them all. I really do. Right, sorry, what we're talking about there, yeah, going out there and damaging other people's stuff is devastating. It is. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. What other chance? And I hate saying "but" in a sentence, because when you say "but" in a sentence, it means what you've just said you don't believe. Or maybe I should say "but" in it. When people are not being listened to? Well, I'll put it this way. You know what? I'll just leave it in the words of JFK. When a government makes peaceful revolution impossible, violent revolution becomes inevitable. Now, I didn't say that, guys. That was JFK. So if you want to go and have a go at anyone, guys, like somebody, like, you know what, I read that poem earlier, guys, and I did that. I read a poem earlier, and somebody called me like. I read a Rudyard Kipling poem earlier, and somebody was calling me like. I think somebody wrote in the comments, "Oh, you're right wing instigator" or something. I was like, dude, I'm literally reading a poem. I'm reading a poem. I didn't write it. I'm just reading it. Sharon Stewart is saying the summer of carnage is definitely kicked off. Listen, I still think we're going to see the first, I guess, UK mainland skirmishes on the 4th of July in Cardiff, guys. Listen, and whether it happens in Cardiff doesn't matter now, because I guess everybody understands that it is actually happening right now. Right, I'm sorry, guys, I'm jumping down. I want to get as many of these. I want to get as many of these comments as I can. Brummie, they've totally destroyed. Oh, right, okay, yeah, right, Brummie. Hang on. Let me get this. Right. So Brummie is saying they've totally destroyed my business to the point it's just no longer worth it. Guys, listen, this is what's coming. And how long have I been talking about this, guys? Like, how long have I been saying by the summer holidays? Oh, somebody just subscribed. Oh, thank you so much, Coral Reefing, for your subscription. I thought you were already subscribed, Coral Reefing. I think you must be renewing the subscription. Oh, yes, 9 months, Coral Reefing. Thank you so much for your continued support. So, yeah, like, and again, when I'm saying these things, I feel like I'm rehashing old tropes, but they're still true now. As true when I said them like months and months ago as when I said it now. This summer in the United Kingdom, we're going to have more people searching for less jobs, inflation, taxes, more taxes. We're going to have a government that's lost control, a police service now that is vastly outnumbered and under-equipped. You know, it's absolutely insane what's happening, guys. It is absolutely insane what's happening. Guys, I've just got a notification come up that says 50% of the live goal is complete. I don't know what that means. But I'm saying I've got a notification up that says I've got to celebrate it. So well done to you guys. Well, I don't know what that means. Desert is saying scary times ahead. Cosmic is saying hello, Sean. Right, let me jump down. So many comments, guys. So many comments. Yeah, there is a lot of likes today, guys. And K Ring, I got it right this time. K Ring is saying more algorithms. Right, let me just have a quick update. In fact, you know what, guys? I'm gonna go onto the mainstream now, because I do think this will have made the mainstream in mainland UK. Let me have I'm just gonna do a Ballymena live update. What's his name, that guy? No, there's no live updates yet, guys, on the mainstream. There really is a media blackout on this, guys. There is an absolute media blackout on this, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute media blackout. Look, guys, if you want to know if something fishy is going on, right? If you want to know if something fishy is going on, We've got reports of petrol bombs, water cannons, fireworks, roads being blocked by civilians, buildings on fire, and no mainstream media articles are even talking about it. Do you not think that's a little bit suspicious, guys? Honestly, please put it in the comments. Do you not feel that that is a little bit suspicious? I mean, like, literally, all you have to do is, like, I mean, Tommy Robinson comes out of, like, what has a sandwich, and it's all over the mainstream media. Right wing activist eats bacon and egg sandwich. Yes, using his bacon to eating bacon, showing some solidarity in the right way, and they'll have a massive write-up of it. You're thinking, well, hang on a minute, that's not even a story. Why have I wasted my life reading this? And then we have literally got now, ladies and gentlemen, in Ballymena, second night of protest, summer of carnage, fires, reports of explosions, reports of petrol bombs, cars burnt out. I think what I look like, it looked like buildings on fire, and not a swizzle, ladies and gentlemen, not a swizzle on the mainstream media. Like, it does ask questions, doesn't it? Why nothing's being spoken about? And guys, listen, thank you so much again. Thank you to you guys for getting me to 50,000 as quickly as possible. Right, let me get this on this page because that's easier. And then I'll put that one on there. It gets a better lighting for my face because it's all about my face, guys. It's all about my face. It's all about my face. Right. Scenes in Ballymena tonight. So I'm looking at these scenes in Ballymena, guys, tonight. There are rows of Land Rover, I think they call them pigs. Armoured Land Rovers on the streets of Northern Ireland. One of them on the right-hand side of the picture is burning. Behind them, it looks like they've got reinforcements and the water cannon. And they're just groups of young people, just young people looking at them like, drinking bottles of water and stuff. Fireworks and other objects have been thrown at the police for a second night of disorder in Ballymena. Right, let me refresh this. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know, again, I've said this a few times, guys, okay? I've said this a few times. Oh, yeah, they're called them, right, I know they're called the meat, are they actually called the meat wagons? I thought they were called pigs in Northern Ireland. Oh, hang on, guys, 3 minutes ago. Right, guys, hang on, I'm going to play a live stream here. Hang on. Right, so I'm just watching a live stream now, guys, and there are definitely cars on fire now. I don't know if this is Ballymena. I don't know if it's recent. It says thousands of Ballymena locals take to the streets again after a teenage girl was, you guys know what happened, allegedly, by migrants. Multiculturalism has failed. So I'm just going to play this now, guys, okay? I'm just going to play this. Right, okay, so it's showing you now, it's showing you the images, and there's a pub, I think it's called, I can't see the sign of the pub, but there's now fires on both ends of the street. Ladies and gentlemen, when it gets dark outside, believe me, you've seen nothing yet. You have seen nothing yet. When it gets dark and that sun falls, trust me, guys, you're gonna see a real beast come out. Right, so it's just looping. So it does look like, definitely now, guys, a second night on Ballymena. I think I can't find. So last week Paris, this week Los Angeles and Ballymena. Who will kick off next? Lots of people now are talking about. Oh, hang on. Right, so I'm watching the same. I think this is the same incident now, guys, but from a different angle. Let me just have a look at this, and I'll report back what's happening. Okay, so yeah, so roads have been closed. There's fires now in the middle of roads. Well, that is to stop the security services getting. There's huge crowds everywhere. Okay, there's like crowds everywhere, crowds of people everywhere. At the moment, it does look like a handful of people who are doing most of the throwing and building the fires and stuff. Guys, look, it's what I said to you happens, you get the masses of people. For every 100, you might have one person who's going to go a bit crackers. That's the 1% right now. But as the night descends, maybe people are going to have a few cans of, what do you have out there? What do they have out there? Maybe they're going to have a few bottles of Bucky or whatever, and that will escalate, guys. It will escalate. As soon as it gets dark, it will escalate. Right, let me jump over to YouTube, guys. There's been some comments on YouTube. Jeff is saying, in fact, oh, and okay, so Dr. Feelgood has been saying they have been charged. Okay, so the guys have been charged now in Northern Ireland. Listen, guys, if I'm using peculiar language like saying allegedly or it's my opinion or I can't confirm, I've had so many I've had my live stream banned for saying the wrong things. I get videos taken down all the time. So I do have to say caveat things and say my opinion. So guys, listen, when I'm saying these things, okay, just read between the lines, okay? Right, so they have been charged, Dr. Feelgood says. I understand what's Jeff over on YouTube saying, I understand what's happening in Europe, but for it to be happening in Europe and the US at the same time seems like it's planned. Yeah, I feel it good. And then Dr. Feelgood is saying, I love how you talk, mate. Thank you so much. Victor is saying, oh, sorry. That's two people talking to each other. Ryan S, you got the water cannon out now. So Ryan S is saying they've got the water cannon out. Yeah, so reports are, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just give everyone a quick synopsis of how I understand things to be developing in Northern Ireland. It does look like there are protests all over Northern Ireland, but it does look like the protesting that's turned into riots, the violence, it does look like that is potentially isolated at this point to Ballymena. So basically, second night of protest, it started off with heavy bricks being thrown at the police, then petrol bombs, buildings are on fire. As we speak now, there's footage being live streamed from various sources. Roads have been closed by locals making fires. I'm looking at an image now. It looks like there's a police car potentially on fire. If not, the wheel's definitely going to have popped. I hope he's on run flats. So that's what it's looking like what's happening now. Right, let me jump up and get these comments because there are a lot of comments on here, guys. All right, there's a lot of comments. Yeah, they've got the water cannon out. Lots of people talking about the water cannon. Jojo, I live in Belfast. Can't believe we are back to rioting again. I think that means can't believe we're back to rioting again. The rioting now in Northern Ireland, that's going to be potentially in Limerick this weekend as well, that will undoubtedly move over to the United Kingdom, over to mainland UK at some point. Historically, let's just stick to Northern Ireland. Historically, rioting in Northern Ireland has been done by Protestants and Catholics. Now, it does look like that Protestants and Catholics are coming together now and they're uniting over a perceived, there I go with my language again, guys, over a perceived greater threat. Sergeant Gunnery, Whitby Abbey bomb squad in security alert. Yeah, so we did hear reports of an explosion in Ballymena. Again, guys, I don't know if that's confirmed. It's just what somebody said. Joe Marlborough saying lots of Irish refugees in North America. Yeah, there is a lot of I guess they're like third, what are they now? Probably like fourth or fifth generation. Right, Ali is saying Ali is saying, I must be living under a rock. Please, can someone tell me what island is rioting about? Right, okay, so over last weekend and the weekend before, two young girls were assaulted by migrants. Basically, the locals have had it. Well, we can. That's what the riots have started. That's what started the riots. And you would have to ask. That's what started the riots. Now, it's my speculation. It would be my opinion that people in Ireland have just reached the tipping point now where they don't want their communities, they don't want these things in their communities. I had a message through on my phone earlier this morning from I believe it was a lady who claimed to live in Ballymena, and she said, look, we're all scared to go out on the streets. We're scared of the amount of people now in our communities that are not from our communities, and we just don't want it anymore. And I think people just don't want these people in their communities, and and people have reached a tipping point now. Remember, when these tipping points happen, ladies and gentlemen, when these tipping points happen, and when this crowd mentality sets in, there really is no way back. There's no way to stop this crowd mentality, guys. It's too big, it's too powerful, and we already know that the police in the mainland United Kingdom, they're leaving quicker than they're being recruited. They're underpaid, overworked. Governments are making cuts on an already stretched police force, and then we're thinking the summer of carnage is not going to happen. Please, guys, okay? In my opinion, it's an inevitability right now. It's an inevitability right now. Right, I'm going to jump down again, guys. I'm going to jump down again. I do keep having to apologise if I miss any of these comments. Will Northern Ireland Police just crack down on the rioters like Stockport? Well, here's the thing, guys. Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, and I know I said on my video, I was wrong on my video earlier. Northern Ireland is, of course, part of the United Kingdom. But right now, I think right now, guys, for this time for this period in our history, and I'm talking about human history now, for this period in human history, I think England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, I think we all need to stand together as one united voice. I really do, guys. That's why earlier on the live stream, I was asking you guys to get me to 50,000 as quickly as possible. And thank you so much for doing that. So the question is, will Northern Ireland Police just crack down on the rioters like Stockport? I think people will have learned a lesson. People will have learned a lesson from what happened. I.e., people won't be posted on social media. People will be covering their faces. People will know not to get arrested. But like I keep saying, when you reach this critical mass, and I've seen this, guys, when people are so worked up and there's so much pressure, like that pressure cooker. I know I keep coming back to the pressure cooker analogy, but imagine a pressure cooker. Imagine the UK as a pressure cooker right now. And all these problems we've got with migrants, with taxes, with employment, with cost of living, with inflation, with everything, all these problems, that's the fuel. That's the fuel. And when the government crack down hard on people for putting posts on Facebook, all they're doing is bolting that lid shut. The same amount of energy is still going into that. And when it goes, it's a perfect analogy, guys. And when that pressure cooker finally erupts, it will erupt, guys, and there'll be no stopping it. Yeah, Kieran, I'm very careful of what I say. I'm very careful of what I say. Thank you so much. Love Island's trending for some reason. I've never watched. You know what? Right? I'm not talking about Love Island. I'm not talking about Love Island. I'm far better than that. Right. Sorry. Was I? Yeah. Sorry. What was I talking? Yeah. Sorry. Southport. Sorry. Southport. Right. I'm just jumping up and getting these comments, guys. Why hasn't Liverpool kicked off after the maniac drove into the crowd? Liverpool did kick off. Liverpool absolutely did kick off after that guy drove into the crowd, Bluebird. Like, I've never seen people so quickly go from peaceful, happy celebrators to get him out the car and transcend him to a beam of life. So I'm going to say they did kick off. Right, let me jump down and get these comments. Bitchcraft is saying, I'll unfollow you if you talk about Lovecraft. Love Island. Right, listen, I've never watched an episode. I used to have to persevere with a couple of minutes before Family Guy came on. Right. That being said, I saw a TikTok of someone drove into a bank this week. I've not heard that. Right, I'm just going to jump down. There's a few comments on YouTube. You're Irish, saying you can be 50 apparently to join the Irish Gardaí, which is the police force in Southern Ireland. Love from England, says False Sumatra. And Kenzie McClelland, how long do you think these riots will last in Northern Ireland? Good question. I think they'll last until the weather changes. I think, and again, I know it's not the answer that like people are hoping for, but once you reach that critical mass, like I do think they've reached that critical mass now. Realistically, I don't think much could stop it now. I think it'll go on certainly till the weekend. I think the natural break is normally when there's a big downpour of rain, wind, people are like, oh, I'm going to go back in the house. And remember what I said, when you reach that critical mass, when you get 100 people, one of them is going to go crackers. So when you've got 50 people out there and less people, and then less people means less people, so that's when I think it will happen. So I think if there's a massive downpour of rain in the next couple of days, that will stop it. Apart from that, guys, I genuinely don't see, because it started now. Because it really has started. I've served in Northern Ireland. So, I think the weather's going to dictate this one, guys. I really do. I think the weather's going to dictate this one. Right, let me jump and get these comments. Oh, but apparently, Diane Lecce, hang on, I hope I'm saying your name right, Diane. Diane Lecce is saying it was pouring yesterday, didn't stop them. Okay, right, okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong then. Normally, from my experience, and this is from my experience, I used to work in the Gulf Towers. They've closed down now. There were surveillance towers on the south, on the border of Northern Ireland, between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, like Northern Ireland and Ireland. I used to work on those Gulf Towers, okay, and we used to do surveillance. It was a boring job. It was a boring job living underground, and anyway. Now, we would often get people come up and conduct protests coming up to the hill and throwing things and all sorts of stuff. And as soon as it started raining, they would go. So that's what I'm using my experience from that, guys. But, as Diane's saying there, it was raining yesterday and it didn't stop them. So, I don't know. Who knows? Off-Grid is saying Iran claims the International Atomic Energy Authority were the ones that gave Israel the names of their scientists, which got them. Right, okay, I don't know. Look, I don't know about that, Off-Grid. I want to focus. I really do want to focus this live stream on what's happening in Northern Ireland and what I do think is coming to England. What I think will be happening in England. In fact, I know your game, Off-Grid. Right, for those of you who don't know. For those of you guys who don't know, myself and Off-Grid had a bet that the Summer of Carnage wouldn't start. Off-Grid says, no, the Summer of Carnage won't start. People won't do anything. They're too lazy. And we had a £5 bet, and the £5 bet was, I said, we will see skirmishers on the streets of Cardiff on the 4th of July. Off-Grid says no. Now, I know that Off-Grid's been watching the news and he's thinking, oh, I've lost that fiver. I'm going to be a fiver down this weekend. I know he's thinking that. I know he's thinking that. As we move forward through time, I know that he is thinking that. And you know what, guys? You know what, Off-Grid? I'm just thinking what I'm going to spend your money on. I don't know. I might put it in the bank. I might have stocks and shares. Obviously, that's not financial advice. I'm not qualified to give anyone financial advice. But let me jump down and get these guys. Let me jump down on these guys. Wow. Okay. So Diane here. Diane, are you local to that area? Diane, are you local to that community? Diane is saying, from what I heard in Ballymena today, it's going to continue until said community is gone from town. I mean, isn't this fascinating, guys? Look, and I'm going to give a sentence now. And it's going to be massively controversial. It's going to be massively controversial. I don't want to give it because I don't want to get this live banned. But I want to be quite clear. I can't give it, guys. I can't give it. I get the live banned. Okay. Right. I'm trying to think of a way I can rephrase this. So these people now who are protesting in the streets, they're protesting and they don't want, as Diane's saying there, they're protesting. She's saying, from what I heard in Ballymena today, it's going to continue until the said community is gone away from town. Now, there's a word we use, and it begins with R and ends in ism, to describe somebody who is of a certain feeling towards different communities. I'm sorry, guys, I'm having to go around the bush with this because I don't want to get the live ban. So are those people protecting that town right now? Are they protecting that town now? And is Bean having that opinion protecting girls in that town? I don't know, guys. I don't know what the answer is, guys. I don't know what the answer is. But, you know, we are living in absolutely wild times, times. April is saying, LA riots, Trump is keeping the military in place for 60 days, costing $184 million. Chump change to the United States, guys. That is chump change. Let me just contextualize this quickly, because it is always, the metric is always it's always a skew with metric. So apparently Trump is keeping the military in place in Los Angeles for 60 days, costing $184 million. I'm assuming that's dollars. Now, it is and it isn't, in the context that the government are not spending any more on the military. The military, where did that word come from? The military salaries are still being paid. That will go towards that cost. The fuel, the rations, the water, everything else, it's already been bought and paid for. So it's not really costing anything, guys. You know, it's not really costing anything, but it is costing as well. So I get it, but the metric is kind of it's kind of misleading. Oh, and Diane's is from that town. Oh, so you're from that, right? Okay, so we've got Diane here, and she's from the town itself. It's kicking off in multiple. Oh, hang on. Right, okay, hang on. Right, okay, so Sergeant Gunnery. Oh, right, hang on. Sergeant Gunnery, I'm just going to pin this one if I can, if the live, yes. So Sergeant Gunnery is saying Ballymena, Coantrim, White Abbey, Belfast, Strabane, and County Tyrone are all kicking off, guys. That's all I can say. You know, they're all kicking off. They're all kicking off. Putting few vids on GB News, right? Okay, so they're putting a few videos on GB News, right, guys? Listen, I do want to start to. Okay, so it's very suspicious, isn't it, that you can do a Google search right now? You can do a Google search right now. If I'll do it again, you can do a breaking news search right now, and you get Austria, of course. you get protests in Los Angeles, you get Britain sanctions Israel, you get spending review, people on 10,000 to 96,000, you get Sizewell C pledges to lower bills but will take 10 years, and then you've got Greta Thunberg. That's what you get on breaking news. Nothing, absolutely nothing about what's happening in Northern Ireland. Now let me just do breaking news, Northern Ireland. Nothing. You get 7 goals in 7 goal assists for Northern Ireland. Once again, we get stuff about Northern Ireland football team, right? So that's what you get. You get nothing. Nothing. Okay, so nothing's happening in Northern Ireland. Let's do breaking news Ballymena. Breaking news Ballymena. Breaking news Ballymena. 2 teenage boys charged with the thing that they were allegedly, and then nothing. Literally nothing, guys. There is nothing on Main Street, absolutely nothing. So you have to actually go to, Belfast Live. You actually have to go to Belfast Live and scroll down. Doesn't that strike you all as suspicious? I don't know, guys. Maybe that's just how it does. When, like, what did we see? Like, Greta Thunberg, like, little Greta has reached there's more information on Greta Thunberg than there is on a potential start of a revolution in Northern Ireland, guys, okay? Remember, the revolution will not be televised. It won't. They're not going to televise it, guys. You know, you're going to have to find stuff out for yourself. Right, let me jump up, guys. I'm just going to look on X quickly because I've got this. What's happening? Right, I've just got this on X, guys. It's just uploading. My computer is pretty slow at the moment. Does anybody else's computer take petrol? I have to put petrol in my computer. Right, 31 seconds ago. Hang on. Sorry, so I have to laugh. Right, there's these protests and there's all this stuff on fire, and then there's these 2 kids messing about on, I think, their nanan's scooter. What have we got here? Okay, so I'm looking at scenes now of the police vehicles smashing through the barricades that have been set on fire. What else have we got? Right, we've got more scenes on the street, guys. Look. It's starting to get dark, and right now, what will be happening in Northern Ireland? Oh, hang on. 14 minutes ago. Right, so can you guys remember when I said earlier that I could see a pub? But I couldn't make out the name of it. I'm actually looking at a camera angle now that's up the street from the different aspect. And the pub is called Go Sun. So if you guys want to look at like Go Sun in Ballymena. Now, what I'm looking at is the camera aspect, Guys, I can't believe this is not on mainstream. I cannot believe that this is not on the mainstream. That should ask you more questions. That should ask more questions than anything. It's not on the mainstream. So I'm seeing footage now, guys. I'm looking at footage now. I'm behind the police line. I'm looking forward to the crowd. There's the Go Sun pub on the left. There's a big crowd of people. I'd say what I can see, but I can't see them all because of the aspect. I'd say there's at least 200 people. There's a fire behind them. There's black smoke pluming into the sky. And it does look like it's going to get worse. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, right now, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening right now, guys, okay? This is the kids playing. This is the kids playing right now. The men who are going to call. The men are going to be in the pubs right now. They're in the pubs having a few beers with their mates. They're going to come out and things are going to get lively. Things will get lively when the pubs turn out, guys, like 11 o'clock or whatever it is in Ireland. And again, I know this because I used to operate in Northern Ireland. I was part of the security forces in Northern Ireland. I've spent many a time watching these things unfold. And right now, all around Ballymena, the pubs will be rammed, people will be drinking, because that's what they're going to do. Nobody's going to stand out on the streets and get themselves pictured in daylight. They're going to be having a couple of beers until the lights go down. Baby, when the lights go out. Sorry, guys, that just jumped in my head. What were we saying? That was at 5? When it gets dark, that's when the people are going to come out of the pubs. They're going to be half cut anyway. That's when things are going to really start going from bad to worse. That's what's going to happen, guys. That's really what's going to happen. Right, live on Sky News. Right, apparently it's live on Sky News, someone's saying. Finally, a mainstream media outlet's got. But again, guys, look, there are certain things that they just can't ignore. Right, I'm just looking on Sky News, guys, to see if I can see it. Oh, did anybody watch that War Games? Did anybody watch that War Games on Sky News? It was an absolute swizzle. I was just like, right, oh, guys, like this, they just. I'm not going to say they don't know what they're talking about, because they clearly do. But like when we're talking about these war games, guys, there's two different types of people who know about war games. There are people who've read about it in books, people who've, people who've read all the literature, and they know all the, they know what time this general turned up, and they know what time this battle started, and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the other people like me who've literally lived through it. They don't, I don't know what times all the generals turned up. I know what the smells were like. I know what people were feeling. I know the sounds, the atmosphere, and I know everything else about it. And it really does. Frustrate me, guys, when I see these people. Jojo is saying it's on G. Right, I can't find anything on Sky News. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I am gonna. Right, okay. Sky News is. Oh, hang on. I've got some. We've got some updates over on. We have got some over on. Jim, I'm just going to pin this. He's saying the revolution won't be televised, but it may be live streamed. I like that. Do you know what, Jay? I'm looking for some new merch, guys. Okay, I'm looking. Oh, you've got. Is that a picture of? On your profile, is that who is that? Is that St. Michael? I think he's got a picture of St. Michael on his. Anyway, he says the revolution won't be televised, but it may be live streamed. Guys, wouldn't that make a fantastic T-shirt? Chatty Rat over on YouTube is saying burning and forcing people out of their homes is a big part of the loyalist. Okay. If it's not immigrants, migrants, it's their Catholic neighbours that they drive out. Okay, so, I mean, Chatty Rat is there. I think Chatty Rat is saying, I don't know what Chatty Rat is saying. I think Chatty Rat is saying we shouldn't drive people out. We should give everybody a fair chance. And if they commit a crime, they should be dealt with by the law. I think that's what Chatty Rat is. Yeah, Archangel Michael. Yeah, Archangel Michael. Is that what I said? I'm sure I said Archangel Michael. Right, let me jump on Sky. Right, so Sky News, I can't find it on Sky News. Let me try and find it on GB News. GB News, show me your shoes. Right, where are we? No, I can't find it on there either. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to bother with those mainstream. I'm going to stick to what I'm doing. Look, guys, all information is already out there. When I started these channels, I know that All information is readily available on open source social media. It's all out there, guys. It's all out there. The problem is people don't know where to look. They don't know what to look for, and they don't know disinformation when they see it. So we started this channel by going through that information and finding out what's real and what's not real. And we used open source social media. Now, predominantly, we were focusing on war, the war in Ukraine, what was happening in Eastern Europe. But I'm using that same ethos and that same methodology to dissect things now in the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland, the United States. All the information's out there, guys. So I'm going to go from open source social media. When you go from open source social media, I will let you guys know that it is open source social media. When it's the mainstream media, and I'm talking from the mainstream media, I will let you guys know that it is also mainstream media. Right now, the best channel I can find is Belfast Live, and that's giving live updates, guys, okay? Live updates on Belfast Live. Right, we just got another update, actually. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just joining, oh, Patrick Christie's doing a live show on it, right? Right. After I've done this monologue, guys, I'll try and find Patrick Christie. I do like Patrick Christie. Ballymena latest, fireworks and other objects have been thrown at police during a second night of disorder in Ballymena. Riot police were deployed around the Covenant Terrace area on Tuesday night as hundreds of people gathered in the County Antrim town. Police Service Northern Ireland vehicles formed barricades on some roads, while riot police wearing armour and carrying shields stood nearby. Some protesters shouted abuse and threw objects at the police, including glass bottles and pieces of metal. A car was set on fire. I thought there was a car on fire. Police fired less lethal rounds at some of those gathered and also used water cannons. Wow. So just so you know, guys, the authorization to fire, so the authorization to use the baton gun, that has to come from above. You can't just use that baton gun. You have to get authorized to use the baton gun. Like with the water cannon, guys, you have to be authorized to use the, and then hang on. Right, okay, I've done that. Yeah, so that means that the authorization has gone up. So it does mean that they're at least taking this seriously. Jim Fixer is over on YouTube is saying the British people have been demanding lower immigration for over 15 years. It has been denied to them by every successive government and leader. Yes, it has. Oh, and then yeah, that's true. And what we're talking about there is, people are literally, I can't articulate that better than Jim, guys. I can't. The British public have been demanding lower immigration for over 15 years. It has been denied to them by every successive government and leader. It has, guys, it really has. I guess it started with you could argue it started with Brexit. 2016, that was the real vote, wasn't it? That was the real vote to take back control of our borders. But what happened? Nothing happened. If anything, it got worse. And this is what I talk about, guys, this pressure cooker analogy. Remember, I'm giving everybody now, guys, that framework. The 4th of July in Cardiff is when I think it's going to start in mainland UK. And George